Hello. How are you? Hello, Juan Toledano. How are you? Let's see. Let's put a little bit of crackling, fire crackling background noise to make it cozy. Okay, so here we are one more time. So I hope that you are having a fantastic weekend so far and you had a great week painting a lot and being very creative. For today, just because we are almost out of weekends for this month, and since this is the month for Orctober, I decided to do an orc. So yes, I nothing fancy, just for the pleasure of it. Nothing too complex or yeah, just very straightforward. And because painting and doing orgs is always very fun. I don't know why, but I find them very enjoyable to paint. So yeah, that's what we are gonna be doing today. And maybe next weekend, even though maybe next weekend I will not be able to stream, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, let's get started. So I spent a little bit of time yesterday. I had a little free time to sketch these, um, like yeah, like a basic sketch kind of, and yep, we'll be continuing from this point and see what happens. Of course, like always, any suggestion it's more than welcome. I'm more than open for suggestions, and yeah, let's see. What are those? Why is there? Okay. I see. So how is been your weekend, people? Have you painted or done anything fun, seen or read anything good? I'm just continuing with the Expanse series, the books, and I'm enjoying it like yeah, like I haven't enjoyed some books for a long time, and they are so good. There is something here that doesn't convince me. Ryan Nova. Well, this is a really good basic sketch. Well, thank you. Thank you. It is very, yeah, like I said, it's nothing fancy, nothing special. It's just very straightforward. So my idea with this for this orc was to present him before he charge, so he's kind of considering his options to the common fight, and yeah, basically that's about it. And again, I didn't put too much thought into it in terms of narrative or, yeah, just very straightforward. Just I thought, yeah, this time I don't want to give too much thought and something too complex or elaborated. Just very straightforward, just for the sake of doing something easy and fun at the same time, so I don't need to think too much. Which, for a change, it's quite nice. David Pa, hi, how are you? It's been a long time. How are you? I hope that you are doing fine. Juan Toledano, I have been painting a commission, some fantasy stuff. Oh, nice. May I ask what fantasy thing? On that regard, I got a suggestion on Instagram about... well, it wasn't a specific suggestion, but it triggers me. I posted some old sketches of some Lord of the Ring orcs, and this person asked about if it was two specific orc characters from the book. And they were not, but that made me think that, oh, actually that would be a very cool thing to do, just to do some character illustration of some Lord of the Ring orc. Some of those few that are described and named. That would be very fun to do, and something that I have never done, like with that intention. So I'm noting that idea for later. I don't know for when, but I think that would be super fun thing to do. And of course, I'm loving so much as I do the books of Lord of the Rings. I think I have read all the books, like, if I recall correctly, 3 times. So, and that's just the Lord of the Rings. The other Tolkien books also, like, I think 3 times. No, maybe the Silmarillion I have read it 2 times, and the Hobbit 2 times as well. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, I love I love Lord of the Rings books, and yeah, that would be super fun thing to do. Sergio Ponce. Hi, Miguel. One more time with you and the crew. Nice. Very glad to have you here, Sergio. Welcome. Oh, what happened? All right, there we go. Starting with problems with Photoshop. 1 second. Let me just see what the hell is going on. This is so annoying with Photoshop. Okay, I know what happened. Let me just... Okay, now. Right, here, we are back. See. Let's do some see if I do this way. Yes, okay. Okay, where was I? Let's put like some type of cloth or leathery thing here. Ah man, I don't know. There is something here with this four arm that I'm not happy with. let's change it. Juan Toledano, Lord of the Rings style, classic fantasy. Nice. But can you be more specific? Is it a what is it? You are so cryptic. Is it I don't know, a dragon? Is it a wizard? Is it a monster? A knight? A princess? A king? Or is it a full illustration? So it is a scene or I mean, you don't need to say exactly what is it for, but at least, yeah, what is the objects, the subject that you are painting? So how about yeah, I actually think this could work better. Where the arm is stretched down because of the weight of the weapon. Grant, new to the channel, looking great. Well, welcome to the stream, Grant. Welcome and thank you. That is very nice to say. Thank you very much. Sergio Ponce, Miguel, do you have a tablet or a screen tablet? I have a tablet. I have an Intuos 4. Yes. So I'm not working directly on the screen. If you couldn't tell by the but where I'm looking at. Well, as you can see, I'm still not. I'm still exploring options. With the pose. So that's how I had it before, right? Yeah, well, similar. But just the other one just felt like a little bit too, yeah, I don't know, something wrong with that arm. Let's see. Di Pavecilla. Oh. Sergio Miguel, do you paint with oil? Well, it's been a long time, but yeah, I do, and I love it. But yeah, it's been some years now since I haven't done it. But yeah, I would love to at some point to get back to it because it's a joy. Yeah, that's even as much as I love digital painting and all the great options that it gives you. I still miss the plastic quality, you know, of touching, smelling, and mixing colors. I really enjoy that. Yeah. And the fact that everything is slower, so even though it's fantastic that you can work so fast digitally, and that yeah, with all the positive that comes with that, I also miss the low pace of working with oils, because it gives you also time to process and go to think each stroke more, and to be more conscious of what you are doing than digitally. Sometimes I feel that I rush things just because I can work very fast, and I feel that I need to, you know, continue making strokes when it is not needed. Um, One thing I'm trying to do overall, or I have an idea, is just to give a sense that he is geared up with a bunch of looted stuff. So it's a little bit of a improvised I was going to say costume, but yeah, like war gear, or everything he has is just from looting and improvising. So and I want to give him a feel more of adventure more than from a battlefield. So he's not a warrior on a battlefield, but just I don't know, more a fantastic feel to it, like a quest, you know, or something. Um, Border Dragon, thanks for the follow and welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So again, I'm just here improvising just to see, exploring, yeah, some ideas. I want all his gear to look very, again, very basic and taken from here and there, so things that doesn't fit. Same time, I don't know if giving him I mean, yeah, I said that I don't want him to look like a warrior on a battlefield, and I feel that giving him a helmet kind of push things on that level, because he has already a shield. So it feels that he's too prepared. So maybe instead of I know what I'm gonna do. Instead of having a chainmail hood, I'm gonna give him a hood instead. Like a cloth type of hood. That's gonna pull things down in the war gear aspect. And then I need to change certain things so it feels more like cloth and not a heavy chainmail. Sergio, I very like your style. Because with very few brushstrokes, you say a lot. Thank you. Yeah, and we're referring to the painting with oil. Yes, I guess that I try to use as little brushstrokes as I can. I try to simplify as much as I can. More than anything, as a stylistic choice, I personally don't. I absolutely love painting style where things are simplified and not just completely defined and polished to the very micro detail. I can appreciate the work behind that, but to me, at least personally speaking, it kind of lose strength and fluidity and gesture. So yeah, so that's why I like when everything is a little bit more rough and simplified. And since I like that very much, I try to do that with what I do, if I can, of course, at least on my personal work. Yeah, I think I'm definitely liking this more. Giving him a cloth hood instead of just chainmail, and then he can have the chainmail underneath. I think it makes him more like a adventurer, more than just a warrior on a battlefield. Could be some kind of bandit or something like that. Juan Toledano, several separate characters, a human warrior, a hobbit, a woman elf, a Gandalf, and a dwarf, and a Nazgul. All right, so it is not um, damn it, what I was going to say. It is not Lord of the Ring style, but it's actually Lord of the Ring characters. Well, sounds super fun. Yeah, like I said before, I have never done any myself, and I think I'm feeling for doing something like that at some point on my own, just like some fun art. Yeah, going back to defining things with few strokes, that's always a goal I have myself, and something that I need to remind myself very often. And so that's, for me at least, that's still a work in progress. I'm still trying to find a way that I'm happy with, because for my taste I still spend too much time in with unnecessary polishing pass, when you can define things with fewer details. So I'm still trying to find a process that I feel more happy with. And of course, trying to paint that way digitally is once again because I used to paint traditionally, and I really miss that way of painting, and therefore I try to somehow imitate the feel to a painting done in a more a traditional with that traditional technique. But Rodolfo Solorzano. Hola, Miguel. Hi, everybody. Hello, welcome to the stream. I think I haven't seen you around before, so welcome. I hope that you enjoy here. Salvador Tracal. I use an Intuos 4 too. Started with a Graphire 3. Viene ese orco. Gracias, gracias. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to have some issues with the tablet. I don't know if it's the tablet or is the pen, but when I start to paint a little bit centered and up on my tablet, well, now it's doing fine. Well, that's yeah, I need to investigate a little bit more, but sometimes I feel that it might be the pen. Depending on the angle that I'm putting the pen, it's just doing something wrong, but now it's behaving fine, so it's strange. But yeah, I've been having some issues this weekend, the previous one, and I was starting to feel worried that I would need to change. I mean, my tablet has I don't know, maybe more than 10 years now. But now it seems to be working fine, so I hope it's I hope it has gone away. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it has performed so far. Like I said, in more than 10 years, not a single issue until just now, and maybe just that was something strange or something with the drivers. I have no idea. And what if yeah, I think this makes more sense. That it's a full section here instead of just breaking under the ear. So it's just a hole on the hood for the ear instead of a cut. Oh, what happened there? Okay. I hope that you are all still there. Still, everybody's still there. I don't know what happened. I'm also thinking that separating the hood from the chainmail opens the possibility to show the chainmail also like a more broken type of layer. So kind of underlining more the looted aspects and reused and improvised. Sergio, it seems you are in the zone. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty chilled. And like I said, this is not a complex thing that I'm doing this time. So I'm just, yeah. I think it's something that it's not too difficult. And yeah, very so straightforward that yeah. I'm just playing around and not complicating myself much. Lucius, hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome, man. Sergio Ponce, what brush are you using now? I'm using this one here, and it's one that I created myself, and that you actually that I created for the first episode of a tutorial of how to create your own brushes on YouTube. And sadly, yeah, I haven't had the time to do more episodes than just the first one. But yeah, so that first episode is just about the very basics of how to create your own brushes. And I created this one for that tutorial, so you actually can see that tutorial and see how I created it. So this this exact one. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see that tutorial. Miguel Mitchell da Silva, evening, lovely orc. Thank you, man. Thank you. How are you? Have you digested already your situation, or still flipping? How has been your experience so far? David Pa, Miguel, what brushes do you use? Do you use the finger tool? Well, I just answered that about the brush, and I barely use the finger tool, even though it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't use it that much. Or I barely use it. But I like it. How about adding just thinking like a an arrow or something like that. They just tucked on the hood. I mean, a detail for later to add later. I'm just like just kind of just went through here and didn't hit him really, but just got stuck there. There is something I was thinking when I started painting this orc, that I haven't reconciled with orcs from Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, since they are basically the same. And is that with the years they have become bulkier and bulkier and stronger. Uh, um, I mean, in muscle mass and everything, uh, especially compared with a human, right? And but then on the stats, their strength is if I recall correctly, is the same as a human. And that always bothered me because at least on the very old time, the orcs were not that bulky, and it kind of made a little bit more sense. But when you see something this strong, is like you would expect at least the stats to be way stronger than a human. And yeah, I don't know, it just kind of bothered me a little. How about if he carries some kind of bag or satchel? Um, I think that would be a nice touch and give once again this adventure vibe to the character instead of just a warrior on the battlefield. Problem there is that you cannot see. We can put several straps. Maybe there is another one going on the other direction. Let's see. The more I think about it, this orc is like more like I'm thinking of like a role game character. So a player decide he's gonna play like an orc, and this is his warrior character for the tabletop role game. Sergio, are you the friend that Rodrigo Lloret mentioned on the Studio Creaturas podcast? Yes, yes. Rodrigo is a very good friend of mine. I don't. I I haven't seen all the episodes, even though the podcast is very, very, very good. But yeah, if he has mentioned me, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Rodrigo Lloret, he's a very good friend of mine. We know each other for a very long time, more than 10 years. Well, now it's been, yeah, well, 15, 16 years ago or something like that. Yeah. Great guy, super talented artist. Um, so how are you liking their podcast? I think it's fantastic. I really like what they are doing. Uh, Mr. Creative, how to get art commissions? Uh, what a what a big question. Okay. Well, it depends. I mean, it's a very general question as well. So it depends for what you are talking about and what type of commissions. Do you understand commissions by private individuals that ask you to paint something for them for personal use and enjoyment, or do you refer to commissions as any client work, and that opens for companies, etc., etc.? So without knowing much details of what you are referring to, Mr. Creative, I would say that the most important thing is to let the world know that you exist and the type of work that you do. So you need to expose your art to the public, and that means to post on all type of social media and portfolio web pages and stuff like that, so people know about the art that you do. And yeah, so that's the most important thing, I would say, without knowing more in detail what you are referring to. um, but yeah, if people don't know what you do and that you do things, then how are you gonna get any commissions, right? So yes. Then into that, I would say as well that, okay, so then there's another question is like, what type of commissions? So if you are open for any type of commission, or are you just interested on doing certain type of things, right? Then you need to be very careful into presenting yourself to the world, into doing those things that you want to be doing commissions for. So let's say that you love to do, let's say, since we're just for the sake of the example, that you only wish to do fantasy art because that's what you love, and you are not interested in doing My Little Pony commissions. So then you should just be posting and presenting yourself as a fantasy art artist, and like these people will commission you for those things and not for something that you don't like, because I find that pretty often that some people, let's say on their portfolio, they put a lot of different things, let's say for the sake of the example, environments and characters, but they hate doing characters. They only would like to work doing environments type of art. Well, if you put in your portfolio character, you are opening yourself for people to give you work as a character artist and not environment. So you need to cater your portfolio and whatever you are presenting into the internet into those things that you are interested in working with. Then, of course, then there's the other angle to it, and it's like, okay, so you are just interested in getting some money, so you don't care that much what you do, as far as you are getting paid for some art that you do. Then of course the mindset is different, and the approach and strategy in that case. I think the most clever thing to do would be to find the type of things that people tend to a market for certain type of things, and that it's big and there is a lot of possibilities and a lot of potential clients, and then try to work into that market, and once again just expose yourself and doing art for that type of market, and and if you are good enough, people will start asking you to do commissions. So that's kind of the type of general tip that I can give you with such a general and an open question that you are asking. Lucius, I'm doing some finish to my nemesis. Oh, Lucius, nice. Very, very, very nice. Very much looking forward to it. Miguel, I'm good, thanks. Still in awe. Yeah. I can imagine. Mr. Creative, how to learn to choose colors. Oh my goodness, man. You are into very open questions and with very deep subjects. Well, how to learn to choose colors. I don't think there is a straight answer to that. Because it depends on the context and what you are looking for. So let's say if you tell me how to learn to choose colors to do hyper realistic paintings, or or aiming for certain realism, then I can give you some tips. Or because if it's for something very stylized, or we are merely talking about from a technical point of view, it's different that if we are talking about giving a narrative angle to your piece and which colors to choose. It's like, should I put this jacket or this choose the color for this shield to be red or pink or blue, right? So it's a very open question. So I don't know what to answer to that. It depends. If I'm guessing, it's more from a technical point of view, your question, then without more context to your question, I would say that observing the world around you, right? So to observe and to do a lot of studies and seeing how light behave and colors behave in different type of lights and materials and stuff like that, and slowly but steadily create a mental library, and as well use references, and and little by little you start to get a feel to what type of colors to choose and use. But again, it's very open and general questions. So without more specifics, I cannot give you more specific answers. Sorry. Peter, sup all, stuck in meetings, but I will watch later. All right. But thanks for passing by just to say hello. And like Lucio says, try not to have too much fun. Meetings. That is one of those things that I'm very happy I don't have to go through very often after I quit my job on the studio. Because so many unnecessary and boring meetings all the time. Now I still have work meetings with my clients, but they are very necessary and on point. So they are it's not the same. So I'm very happy that I don't have to go through that again. Like pointless. Such a waste of time. Sergio, it's very nice, very entertaining. Oh, referring to the podcast. Yes. It is, and I very much like the casual aspect to it, and aside from the casualness, they touch very interesting topics, and I think this is very good, especially for people that are trying to get into the industry, especially for them. I'm talking about, by the way, for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm talking about a podcast in Spanish done by some friends of mine. It's four of them. All of them are professionals in the gaming industry. So their podcast is very much focused on everything related to art in the video game industry. Well, not just video games, but in the entertainment industry, but mostly focus on video games and how things work. And it's only in Spanish, so it's and it's very, very, very good. It's called Estudio Creaturas, for those of you that are interested. Studio Creaturas. Very, very good. Because there is plenty of things in English and other languages, but there was nothing like that in Spanish. So it was a very good move by them to do that. Aremic 777. I'm not sure how or what to ask, but I really want to paint like a sculptor, like the way you seem to do it. Currently doing movie still studies for planes of the face. Does the knowledge come with time and constant practice, or are there specific methods that help best? All right. Well, that's a good question and very specific, so much appreciated. So I can give you a very specific answer to that, Aramic. Well, I think you answered yourself. All of this comes with practice and time. So you just need to continue practicing and painting, and it would come sooner or later, but it will come if you are persistent and in your work, and you are methodical and practice with brain. And what I mean by that is not just mindlessly repeating and copying things, but just studying and you are referring that you are making movie stills. That is a very good thing to do. So yes, understanding what you are looking at, and if I understand correctly from what you are saying, that doing studies for planes of the face, that means to deconstruct and simplify things into planes. So that is a very good thing to do. So yeah, continuing doing exercises like that, that is going to be very good. And about specific methods, at the moment, I don't know really what to say. But what you are saying about reducing things to planes is actually a very good thing to do. And the more you simplify, so trying to convey volumes with as little details as possible. So that is a very good way to do it. And yes, and practicing. This is a very long journey. I still, and you never stop learning and improving, and it comes with years, right? So I've been painting all my life. I'm 40 years old, and I'm still learning, and so yeah, things doesn't happen slowly and fast. It takes time, and time with practice. So yeah, be patient, enjoy the ride and the journey, which is the most important thing, because there is no final line with this. It's always yeah, there's always new ridges to climb ahead of you. So yeah. William Menossi. Hello, Miguel. Hello, William. Welcome to the stream. Aramic, and is it unrealistic to paint a relatively nice face and body without direct reference, or from just imagination? Uh, well, that is very relative because what is nice and what is good and what is bad. So it depends on what you are, what we are talking about. So in the discussion about if you should be using references or painting from imagination, uh, there is nothing wrong with both of them. So it depends on what you are trying to achieve. So uh, what it tend to happen and what I see is that when people paint from imagination, they tend to fall into certain stylistic choices that they repeat all the time. So you start to recognize, this is the face that normally this person does, right? Which is nothing wrong with it. Is perfectly fine and good. And yeah, so but before starting to paint or draw from imagination, you still need to have a base from learning from observing things, and that means that you always gonna have to study from references at some point to learn how things are. And once you learn how they are, you can decide to start painting from imagination. But everything comes from a first initial study period of the real thing, using as a reference. So you build that personal library in your brain. Then okay, so then when it comes to you were asking if relatively nice or not nice. So okay, so if we are talking in terms of realism and making unique faces, so then I would say, in my opinion, I think you need to use references to create things, faces that are that feel real and unique, right? Because each face of everybody's is very different. And when you start painting from imagination, yeah, you start to create certain pattern that is recognizable, and all your characters start to have the same or very similar faces, and that's something that you can see very often in artists that mostly work from imagination. Once again, there is nothing wrong with it. So that's what I mean, that nice or not nice is relative. Uh, so it depends on what you are trying to achieve. Once again, I myself, one of the things that I enjoy the most is when creating characters or painting faces is that they feel unique. So for that, I found that the best way to do is always using references or basing certain amount on a real face, instead of just painting from imagination. Because if not, then I paint the so-called Miguel faces, which are just like those patterns that I have created in my brain and that I reproduce, doing faces. So I don't know. Let's say if you see characters from Karl Kopinski, a great artist. As far as I know, he mostly paint from imagination, and you can recognize the faces that he does, right? So you recognize immediately. This is a character from Karl Kopinski, because they fall into certain patterns and they are always the same way. once again, nothing wrong with it. It's just yeah, a choice. And you as an artist will have to decide what is it that you are trying to achieve with your faces. So you want, maybe that's what you are aiming for, right? As to a very recognizable style, and yeah, that is good. So I don't know if I have answered your question, Aremic. Please let me know. If not, I will try to do a better job once again. But yeah, just to kind of wrap things up with your question, it depends on your objective and what you mean with nice or not nice. So if we are talking, let's say, in phases that are still that work, and the construction is nice, and function, the anatomy works, and the expression and all that, I mean, is obviously, I mean, there's thousands of examples out there with artists that do it. Like I put an example like with Karl Kopinski, that yeah, I mean, it can be done, and the results are great, and they are done from imagination, so it can be done. But then if you want something that looks more that you are aiming for more realism and more uniqueness, then I would say that the way to go is using references. Also, thanks for streaming. This stuff really helps understand the process. Well, my pleasure. I really enjoy doing this and talking to you guys. It's a real pleasure. So yes. Great. Thanks a lot. Sometimes I feel I'm going in the wrong direction. Well, that is a very natural thing to feel sometimes. I do, and I think, and I would bet my life that every single artist, like beginner or well established, goes through at some point. But that's always there. So yeah, it's totally fine, and it's part of the journey. So just enjoy, embrace it, and Lucius, yeah, Carl, yeah, he's awesome. Such a fantastic human being as well. So yeah. I make, yeah, that was good. I appreciate the help a lot. Well, once again, no problem. That's why I'm here for. Helps me make sure I'm in the right direction. I definitely like realistic a lot more. I just have this idea in my head that really good people can do it from scratch. I mean, once again, it depends on how up in the scale of realism you want to go. But if you want to go for very much realism, and what I mean with realism is not just making correctly anatomical features, but just to add that uniqueness that each face has, real faces has, then you must use references. There is no way around. I mean, just think about like great masters in the art history, right? And especially those that were doing portraits, it's like, well, I mean, they could, I bet that they could paint or draw faces from imagination, because they have done it many times, so they know the anatomy, they know everything, the features, how they work. But in order to give that uniqueness, they needed to they were using models, right? Uh, that's the only way, because there is no way that you in your head you can have all the nuances of features and proportions that comes with the with all the options that comes in nature, and that make faces so unique one from another. So if you don't use references, you will end up using those patterns that after a while will start to become like very recognizable. And that doesn't mean that you cannot create character from imagination and give unique features and making your characters look different from each other within your style using imagination. What I'm saying is that within that style and different faces and features, they are still recognizable because you are still using certain patterns within your style, and they don't become as unique and realistic as real faces. And sometimes, I mean, you don't need to do a perfect portrait of one real face either. Sometimes you just can use certain aspects of or features of a real person to add that extra character to the painting that or character that you are painting to add that uniqueness, so to speak. So, but that comes from practice and by studying the reference or the model that you are using. So once again, you still need to use a reference to achieve that. This is the problem I was talking about. The tablet. You see, it pops the brushes menu, and I don't know why. I think it's the angle. So I need to paint on the center in order for this not to show. It's very annoying. Juan the Art. Oh, hello. Good night, everybody. Everyone. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're doing pretty good, pretty good. Just chilling and having some good time. Doing some sort of adventure orc. But going back to the discussion about if using references or painting from imagination, and I know this is nothing that you were referring to, but on that topic, there is so much people that are falling into like certain camps of but to be good you only can paint from imagination, or others that only say that that you only should be using references. Or I mean, both opinions are silly in my opinion. Neither are bad or worse, and neither are better or good. It depends on what you are looking for and what are your needs and goals for whatever you are doing. So there is nothing wrong with painting from imagination, and there is nothing wrong if you use references. It doesn't make you less or better artist if you use either any of them. I mean, I get so I think it's so silly still people saying that you only can, I mean, you should only paint from imagination. If you are using references, you are not good or you are cheating or anything. Is like some, it's so silly and ridiculous. I mean, like I say to my students on that topic, is like, okay, so then most of all the best masters in the art history. One second. Right now I'm on daddy duty, so I need to be on alert in case the Dante starts screaming. So yeah, what I was saying, regarding the if what people say about if you are using references, you are cheating or you are not good. So what I said to my students is like, okay, in that case, most of all the great masters in art history were cheaters, and they were not good artists because they mostly use references all the time and for everything. So that to illustrate how silly that position is. So don't feel ashamed whatsoever of if you feel that you need to use references in your work. It is completely normal thing to do, and I would say that it's in most cases is something recommended, especially if you are trying to do something that you don't know how it is. And So you need to just look it up and yeah. So there's nothing to be ashamed if you use references. Then of course there's this other argument, and I think it has a valid point as well. And it's like, okay, it's good to use references, but you also at the same time you should be working to create some visual library in your brain, so you are not 100% dependent on using all the time references, so you are able to do things without any references to a certain degree. What I mean by that is like, or in case you have no references at all with you, then you cannot paint, right? So like everything in life, I think it's about finding a middle ground. So yes, you should be working in creating a certain visual library in your brain, but at the same time you should be using references if you feel the need for it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Juan the Art, hey guys, any tips or guidance on buying tablet for digital painting? You know, I actually don't know. I'm a little bit we were talking before actually about what I'm using in Intuos 4, a Wacom, and I have been using the same one for more than 10 years now, so I am a little bit out of touch into what is on the market at the moment available, because I haven't had the need to look into it. So I'm not sure. Most of what I could say is that at this point, most of everything there is out there, it's pretty good. It just comes to personal preferences. So I wouldn't. My way of choosing certain tablets or options would be just by trying myself and making a decision based on that more than opinions of others. You know, like say, oh yeah, the Cintiq is the best thing, and there's nothing better than that. It's like, well, it depends. I don't like them personally. I prefer to use a traditional tablet. So yeah, just try. I don't know if you have the chance of trying, but if you have the chance, then I would highly recommend you to try them all, and or the most that you can, and take the decision for yourself. If you know some people that have certain model, ask them if if you can try them, go at their place and try them a little, you know. Yeah, sorry that I cannot give you a more a better answer because I genuinely don't know at this point. I think once again everything is pretty good. It just depends on how you feel more comfortable and which one give you some specific things that you are looking for. Let's say that you would like to paint anywhere you want to go, then perhaps using Procreate and using a normal Apple tablet of some kind is the best thing to do, because yeah, it's but if it's about just a normal computer at home, then well, it depends. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Sergio Ponce references are live. Yes, yes. But once again, there is at the same time there's absolutely nothing wrong with going for not using references if that's something that you don't need or want, and if the results are okay for what you are looking for. So yeah. By the way, now I don't know, but we normally end up talking a lot about films. I just remember I went to see the Last Duel this last week, and I liked it quite a lot. If you like medieval themed films, I recommend it. I think it was very good. I liked it quite a lot. I was thinking that I would like the shield to be very much used and scratched, and just to show that it has been using it for a long time. I would like to give the orc so like a big scar as well. I don't know where I would put it. But yeah, this orc has seen some action. He's a veteran of many adventures. Juan Art, you know how is the best way to get in digital painting? Any courses or books or even schools? Well, to digital painting, I think there are. Wait. Okay, sorry. I need to go and check on my son. 1 second. I'm gonna be back. 1 second. Right, I'm back. Sorry. All right, what was I talking about? Yes, about getting into digital painting. I think there are plenty of tutorials on the internet that are more than enough, I think, to get into digital painting. But at the same time, you feel that you would need a little bit more of a personal tutelage. There are plenty of online courses The one I could recommend is on CGMA. There is where I teach myself. I have a course there, not of digital painting, but there I know there are plenty of courses that are very good. So yeah, but there are many others as well. So if you are looking for something a bit more personal tutelage with a teacher, right? But there are plenty of free tutorials on the internet, I think. So yeah, depending on what you are looking for. And to be honest, I think most of it is just about getting to know the program that you will be using for, and then the rest is just practicing and getting your mind used to painting in this medium. But yeah, it's mostly about learning the program, and that's about it, really. Hey, Luis, how are you? Long time. How are you doing, man? Always a pleasure having you here. Cantabrian, I really like the trailer for The Last Duel. Glad to hear your thought it delivered. Yes, it is very, very good. And it is to, I don't know, I haven't seen the trailer, I think. So I don't know what kind of image it portraits about it, but it's not an action film. It is very interesting, the premise of the film, and I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's very good, I think. And some of the acting, I think some of the actors there, they do a fantastic job. Matt Damon is amazing, I think, playing his character. I mean, you don't see, it's one of these performances where, at least personally, I don't see the actor, I just see the character, and that is great to see. Luis, a pleasure to see you, Jefe. Come on, Luis. uh, you meant here. All right, all right. That makes more sense. It was a very busy and personal, difficult moment in my life in the last month. But I will continue to following you and your art, of course. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear. I hope that things are uh, getting better. So yes, if you need some way to escape and not think about your troubles, then you are more than welcome here, of course. But yeah, I hope that everything is just solving itself or getting better. So yeah, I wish you the best, Luis. You are a fantastic person. On the art, you know how I can draw Warhammer 40k characters like in traditional way? I like those Plague Marines you did with ballpoint pen. Oh yeah, those are old ones. Pff, well, what to say about that? I mean, what I would say for that is, at least how I try to do it myself, and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter the theme or the subject that you are painting. In this case, if it is Warhammer 40k, is that don't think too much about the all the work that other people has done, and that can steer your style into copying, but just try to paint and see what falls into it. And if it looks more traditional or not, it depends on well, your experience and with that. So there's no magic formula, you know. It's like, okay, if you do it this way or that, or we'll end up doing something more traditionally looking. I think it comes from experience with the craft and practice. And then what I was mentioning before, I think that might help into trying to simplify things and working with the economy of your brush strokes. That always helps into giving a more painterly and traditional look to digital painting. Another thing to consider as well is that try to be, when applying certain textures in your painting, characters, environments, whatever, try to be more painterly and just like leave textures like this where you can clearly see the strokes and try to create certain patterns with it as well. Well, I think it's time for me just to finish the stream. I need to go out and take care of my son. So I think I will leave it here for today. I think it's looking quite alright. At least for this stage. And yeah, like always, I really enjoy doing this and talking to you guys. I hope that you had some good time, and wish you the best for the end of the weekend and the coming week. Stay safe and healthy and everything. Luis, please take care of yourself, and I hope that all your travels and how do you say, worries are coming to an end and solve themselves. And yeah, take care everybody, and most probably next week I might not be able to stream. I will try, but I cannot promise. So yeah, I might just give an announcement on social media if I cannot stream. And if that is the case, then I see you in 2 weeks. All right. Once again, thanks for joining on the stream, and take care. Bye bye.